Artists across the internet are saying the same thing right now. AI stole my art. Platforms like Midjourney and Stable Diffusion are trained on massive datasets of images scraped from across the internet. No consent is taken, no credit is given, no payment is made. This has been the topic of ethical debates for quite some time now. But the question remains, did AI really steal art? Legally. Here's why artists are angry. Modern AI image models are trained on massive datasets containing billions of images collected from across the web. Those images come from everywhere: portfolio websites, stock photo libraries, art platforms, and social media. Most of the artists who created those images were never asked for permission. But now the AI can generate images that look incredibly similar to their style. But here's where things get complicated. AI models don't literally cut pieces from existing images and glue them together. That's not how these systems work. Most modern AI tools use something called a diffusion model. It starts with random visual noise, basically digital static. Then step by step, the system removes that noise until an image appears that matches the prompt. During training, the model studies millions of artworks and learns patterns. Things like color palettes, lighting styles, compositions, and shapes. So when you type a prompt, the AI isn't copying a specific artwork. It's generating a new image based on patterns it learned from many different artworks. And here's where copyright law steps in and makes things messy. Copyright law protects specific artworks, but it does not usually protect a style of artwork. You cannot legally own a vibe. Two different artists can both paint a dragon flying over a city at sunset. That's perfectly legal. Because copyright law protects the exact expression of an idea, the specific details of a painting, not the idea itself, and not the general style used to create it. So artists took this fight to court. One of the biggest cases right now is Anderson versus Stability AI. In this case, a group of artists sued the companies behind tools like Stable Diffusion and Midjourney. They argue that their copyrighted artworks were copied into the training datasets used to build these AI systems. And they claim that training an AI model on those works should count as copyright infringement. The AI companies argue something very different. They say that training a model is like studying art, not copying it. According to them, the system learns statistical patterns rather than storing the original images. The court hasn't decided who is right yet, but the judge refused to dismiss the artist's main copyright claim. That is, that whether training AI models could be counted as copyright infringement will now actually be tested in court. Another major lawsuit comes from Getty Images, which is one of the largest stock photos companies in the world. Getty claims that Stability AI scraped more than 12 million Getty photographs to train Stable Diffusion. In some AI-generated images, you can even see the distorted versions of the Getty watermark. Courts are still deciding the big copyright questions in this case. But a UK judge has already found historic and very limited trademark infringement in situations where Getty's watermark appeared in AI outputs. But here's an interesting twist that most people don't realize. That even if AI creates an image, you might not be able to legally own it. In a case called Thaler versus Perlmutter, someone tried to register copyright for artwork created entirely by an AI system. They listed the AI as the author of the artwork. US courts rejected that idea. They ruled that copyright law requires human authorship. In other words, under US law, a machine cannot legally be an author under the current copyright framework. And in 2026, the US Supreme Court refused to review that decision. So that rule still stands. That leads us to a strange situation. That if an image is generated entirely by an AI, it may not qualify for copyright protection at all, meaning nobody legally owns it under copyright law. But if a human meaningfully edits the design, repaints it, or incorporates it into a larger creative project, that human contribution can still be protected. So AI can be used as a tool. But the law still expects real human creativity somewhere in the process. This was the core position in Zaria of the Dawn, the landmark decision of the United States Copyright Office, where it was held that human text selection, arrangement, and substantial editing can be copyrighted even if some elements are AI generated. So we might end up in a world where the training data is copyrighted, but the results themselves are ownerless. And this gives rise to a bigger question. Are we building the biggest public domain art machine in history? Or is it the biggest disruption that artists have ever faced? What do you think? Did AI steal art? Or is it just an evolution in creativity? Let me know in the comments.